Okay, so on-page SEO is basically all the elements that happen on your website, on the different pages of your website. There are like there are tons of factors over here. I'm just going to review the prominent ones, the important ones. But everything nowadays is becoming more and more important when you do your SEO, and they are all interlinked. So it's important that you cover. I mean, you can look at some of the advanced videos where I cover a ton of on-page SEO factors, but this is just to give you a basic understanding. So on-page factors for SEO is your content is very important. It's one of the most important factors. This is Google looks at how are you contributing to users in terms of content, in terms of serving them good lengthy articles, good text, maybe good infographics, good videos, and things like that. And Google looks at that. So do you have too many like thin pages? If you have 100 pages on your site, each with about 200 words of content, and it doesn't say much, then Google is going to look at that as, okay, these pages are a little substandard, and it's going to compare it to the competition that's ranking high in your niche and seeing what kind of activity they're doing. So you're always benchmarking yourself with your competitors, and that's how the AI is working now. The artificial intelligence aspect of the algorithm is always comparing you to other data. So you got to fit in. If your site has 100 pages with an average of maybe 100 words of content each, or 200 words of content each, but the competition has say 20 pages and an average of 1,000 words per article, then Google is going to look at your site suspiciously, and it's not going to rank it. It's not going to give it the points. It's not going to give it the exposure it deserves, because it's going to easily identify this discrepancy. So content is really important. The uniqueness of the content is important. You can't just go to other sites and copy the content and paste it on your site. Google is going to see that immediately. It knows which page has served out the original content first. It dates every piece of content that it crawls and indexes. So the uniqueness of the content is very important, and having duplicate content from other sites or having duplicate content within your site, where you copy the stuff that you say on other pages, is going to harm you again. Google's going to look at your site as having like multiple pages, or which are copies of one another. So you can't game Google that way. uh, Google looks at the actual quality. What are you talking about within every page? It does this by using its own algorithm that analyzes the content, tries to understand the content, but more so, it does it using user experience. It's actually Google is tracking people when they use Chrome, when they visit your site, by clicking the backlinks that you make or by performing a search in Google. And when your search result appears, people click on your search result, they visit your site. Google measures how long are they staying on your site. Are they bouncing back? Are they finding what they want? Are they sticking there for a few minutes? Are they visiting other pages on your site? Are they like pogo hopping across all the other different pages? Or are they just visiting that page and within a few seconds hitting the back button, closing the browser and saying, this site is not serving me proper content? So Google is able to measure that, and it feeds it into the AI, and it's a very, very important factor right now for ranking. Then there's technical SEO. Technical SEO is nothing but certain technicalities when you do SEO, making sure you have things like rel equal to canonical tags fixed, things like having your HTML done properly, things like having your images, the markups done properly, your title tags done, your descriptions done. There's a ton of factors that go into technical SEO, and we'll get to that at a later stage. Because I'm just covering things, and just giving you a bird's eye view over here. Then the site speed. Site speed is super important right now. If your site is not fast, and people click on a search result, they come to your site and they're waiting for ages for the page to load, and they're just going to click back, right? They're not going to wait. People are impatient now. They're just going to go back and go to another result, and Google can see that. More so, Google can test the speed of your site. If you're on a slow host provider, then you're going to get negative points. So site speed is really important. Make sure your hosting is set up properly and you're on a good on a good hosting account. And you can test the speed of your site. There are many site speed testing tools which I'll go over later, like Pingdom or webpage test.org. These uh, these tools will identify the gaps. If there are elements within your site that are causing the slowdown, these tools will tell you exactly what those elements are. User behavior metrics, I already spoke about that. That's how people behave on your site. Are they sticking in, are they reading that particular page? Are they visiting other pages on your site, or are they just closing the browser or hitting back and going back from where they came? Um, Internal linking is another important on-page element. You need to link internally to the most important pages of your site. You need to have more links going to the important pages of your site than links going to other lesser important pages. Uh, and you need to interlink your pages properly. You cannot have, if your site talks about four different categories, four different niches, you need to make sure that you interlink these, you segregate the content out separately for each of these niches, and uh, interlink the pages within each content category with one another. Uh, the Google wants to know, because you're into complete control of the content and the links within your site. You need to build these build these factors in, uh, making an effort yourself, and Google wants you to make that effort. Google wants these signals, which is why Wikipedia, if you visit a site like Wikipedia, you'll see a lot of internal links happening in Wikipedia, which is why it ranks so high. It's got great content, and then the content is structured really well. Like the way the interlinking happens, it happens within the same clusters. You'll see in Wikipedia, when you're reading an article, you see links going out to other related content on that page. So that's sort of clustering your links and forming these content clouds within your site. And you need to do that. And the kind of keywords that you use are also important. So you need to make sure you use the right anchors. And you can over optimize if you want, as much as you want, because this is your on page. This is your own site, and it's for on page SEO. There's nothing as known as over optimization when you link one page to another page on your own site with a particular anchor keyword. Then there's SSL, right, which is getting an SSL certificate, a secure socket layer. When you go out there and you want getting so it's an HTTPS, it's a secure site, as opposed to just being HTTP. Google wants to see HTTPS. Google wants you to go out and get a certificate. So if you can go to your hosting company and order one, or there are some free SSLs. You can probably go to Fiverr and have someone set it up for you for $5 or $10. So SSL is important, and especially if you have gated content where users are required to log in to access that, or if you have an e-commerce site, then you absolutely need an SSL certificate. You need HTTPS installed on your site. There's a ton of other on-page signals, and I'm not going to cover them all here, but I will make a document that I'll give with this material, so you can go through all the ranking signals, and of course you can always Google it and find lists from around the web. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.